Hello, everybody. Um, I think I'm live. I always try to give it a couple seconds to have YouTube catch up with it. But hello, it is a new day. It's time for a new wine chat video. And today we are doing Pinot Noir, and I'm pretty excited about it, honestly. I think this is going to be a good time. I don't know how many of you guys are big Pinot Noir fans. Oh, hello. Um, so Angelari and Vivian, hello. Thank you for coming to the wine chat. So today we are drinking this lovely Pinot Noir, and this is from the Willamette Valley in Oregon in the United States. And Pinot Noir is kind of an interesting little grape. It's quite temperamental. Oh, hi Kim, how are you? So a little bit about Pinot Noir before we get to drinking it. Like I was saying, it's kind of a temperamental grape. And it's just how it grows. It has like little tiny grapes and they grow in these really tight clusters. And it also makes it very difficult for, farmers to grow it because when the tiny grapes are all tight clusters, if it gets moisture in there and stuff, it's going to be very susceptible to rot, mildew kind of stuff. So it's a very temperamental grape to grow. Also, it's not a big fan of heat, so you need kind of the right climate where it's moderate to cool. And you can't have it have too much moisture. And if you have moisture in the morning, you want a sunny afternoon to dry it out. Otherwise, you're just going to get mold. So they're difficult to grow. Mainly you see them in France. I believe they originated in Burgundy in France, and they have moved to other places. I particularly like Willamette Valley in Oregon. I think it's a nice, cool climate. It's very similar in climate to Burgundy, so I feel like they grow very nicely there. And yeah, there's some in California. I do not trust the Pinot from Napa. It is hot as shit in Napa. So I don't trust it. But maybe some Central Coast stuff like Santa Rita Hills might have some good stuff. Let's see. Oh, thank you guys for all saying hi to me. You guys are so sweet. Hello. Thank you for joining us. Hi, Beth. How are you? And yes, this is a diva grape. Such a diva grape. But it's actually a really interesting grape, even though it is a bit temperamental. It actually is, I don't know if it's the only grape or one of the few only grapes. You can make any type of wine out of it. You can make red wine, white wine, rosé, sparkling. You can make it all out of Pinot Noir. And I know some people might be like, how do you make white wine out of Pinot Noir? It is a red grape. I'll tell you. So if you cut a grape in half, and I'm not talking like table grapes, like green grapes you get from the grocery store. You don't make wine out of those, you eat them as snacks. But like a wine grape, if you cut it open, the middle of the grape, all the gooey goodness, middle grape stuff, it's clear. So you could just take the innards of the grape and make the wine and not have any color. So you could make a white wine. Like a lot of champagnes could actually be made out of Pinot Noir. And if you leave the contact with those grape skins in, that's how you get it to be colorful. So like if you're having a red wine, basically you have a red grape and they let it ferment with contact with its skin because the skin has all the color. So that's how you get a red wine. And rosé wine, you get it multiple ways. You either mix a white and a red, or you just leave the skin in for like a little bit so it turns pink and then you remove it. So yeah, she's talented. She's a diva. She's Grace. And she likes to make a lot of different kind of stuff. Like I was mentioning, it's kind of a fancy grape. It originated in Burgundy, which is all like the super fancy wines. And it makes a lot of champagnes. And yeah, I think that's like a good start of it. It's kind of a very medium wine in general. It's really food friendly. And it is, I don't know, it's like very medium. It has like medium body, medium acidity, medium tannins, etc. So it's like it goes a lot of different stuff. By the way, I figured I'd show you guys my Coravin because I haven't really played with this at a wine chat before. But yeah, so this is a Coravin. It looks like a wine gun, and it kind of is. So essentially, there's this long, skinny needle, and you take it and you put it on top of a bottle so it's snug with the top. And then you just give it a good shove. And it goes through the cork so you can get at the wine inside the bottle without having to uncork your wine. Because there is something called oxidation, where if you get too much oxygen contact with your wine, it stops tasting as good. Like white wine, you have a bit more wiggle room with, but red wine, you have like 3 days, and then the bottle is just not going to taste as good. This way, no air, no oxygen gets in contact with the wine. Inside this little chamber, there's like a little capsule that has argon gas in it, and that's kind of what displaces the wine out of the bottle. It doesn't affect the flavor, but voila, you give it a good pump and wine squirts out of it. It's kind of not too much in frame, but go with me on it here. I can lift up the glass. So it's not the quickest. Hi. Not the quickest. There we go. Okay, that seems like a good glass. So yes, and then look at my little glass of wine. It's kind of a fun thing. I do it on wines that I'm like, I don't know if it's too young, maybe. I want to like let it age for a bit, so I'll have a glass try it, not have to open the whole bottle and waste it. But anyways, let's have a sip. First things first, I'll give it a good swirl here, a good sniff. Okay, so here's the thing with Pinot Noir that you're always going to find pretty much. It's going to have a lot of like red fruit flavor, like cherries. It's going to have blue fruit flavors. Like I get a lot of blueberry in this, some cherry. I get like a little bit of baking spice. And the big thing with like Pinot Noir in general is that it's super floral. So if you smell this and you're like, wow, this is a lot of flowers, you are absolutely correct. Pinot Noir is just a very floral wine. And as it like sits in the glass for a while, it will become more floral as time progresses, but I quite like it. I feel like it's like a pretty wine, you know what I mean? It's delicate. Definitely get the cherry. I believe this was aged in oak. You'll hear people say like, oh, it's aged in oak. Like, what does that mean? It means it gives a certain types of flavors. It just comes from the oak barrel. I'm going to say this is probably French oak because different oak gives different flavors. This one there has like definitely a bit of like a baking spice quality, like clove or cinnamon, that kind of flavor. And that comes from oak. So I definitely think this was aged in oak. It has a lot of red fruit flavors. Definitely a big floral tone to it. And it's just pretty. It's a kind of a girly wine, whatever. It's like, it's very floral and pretty and delicate. It's a diva. It's a diva wine. And what makes Oregon Pinot Noir different than like French Pinot Noir? And, you know, it depends on your palate if you taste a difference. In my opinion, French Pinot Noir, it's a bit earthier than New World Pinot Noir. Like I get a lot of more kind of like a potting soil. That sounds disgusting, but just go with me on there. You know how like potting soil like smells? It kind of smells like cool and like earthy. You kind of get that same vibe in the wine, but like in a good way. It doesn't taste like dirt, but so that's my main difference, is that I think French Pinot Noir is a bit earthier than New World, but this one is still really fun. I have heard some people get like a tea kind of smell, like a Darjeeling tea kind of smell, but I don't really know what Darjeeling tea smells like. So maybe, I don't know. I've never really smelled tea with these, but yeah, I definitely get a floral note, cherry, baking spice. Those are all pretty common for Pinot Noir. So if you ever grab a red wine and you give it a good smell and you're like, that is a bouquet of flowers, it's probably Pinot Noir. So, fun fact. Okay, let's go to the comments. So Corvins are cool. They are a little pricey. This is like my one pretentious wine thing I have. They are a little pricey for what they do. I recommend going to Corvin directly because they're a little cheaper. If you buy them through a retailer, they're usually a bit more expensive. Like I got this one, which is like the basic model, and this is like $100, so they're a little pricey. And all the capsules are not cheap either, so it's a bit of an investment. But if you want to try a bunch of wines and not have to open them all, like it might be worth it. Hello, Alicia. Thank you for coming. You could be late. I don't mind. Okay. Oh, well, thank you. You know what? I think the most important part of wine is like, do you like it? Drink what you like. No snobbery here. If you like, you know, $4 white Zinfandel, drink it. Personally, I probably won't join you. But if you like it, drink it. I did take courses in this. I am technically a certified sommelier. I'm still a baby sommelier. I don't really think I have like an incredible palate, but I do know some shit about wine. So here we are talking about wine and stuff. So, but yeah, anyways, if you're drinking wine, I think it's actually kind of an interesting thing. You can say these things to all the people in the room and they're like, oh, this bitch is fancy. You're like, oh, I think this was aged in oak. So I brought it up. Is there a particular flavor you get? You get like that baking spice note. If you get like clove, cinnamon, like a little bit of that flavor or that smell, it usually says it's oak. If it's intense and it's more like vanilla, usually that's American oak. If you get like something softer like clove, cinnamon, it's usually French oak, for example. Different oaks give different flavors, but I prefer French oak. It's not as strong. You taste oak a lot more in white wines, like especially Chardonnay. Sometimes you hear someone say, oh, I like an oaky chard. And it's like you want a Chardonnay that's been like aged in oak intensely, especially with American oak. And like that is, it's a lot. I'm not a big fan of oaky Chardonnays, but a lot of people are. They're very popular. If you like that oaky flavor and you like Chardonnay, the one I recommend is called Rombauer. It's like Rombauer. Don't quote me on that. I think that's how you spell it, but it is a textbook oaky Chardonnay. So if you're interested in trying that, I recommend Rombauer. It's about $30 a bottle, so it's not too expensive, but it it's a bit out of like everyday drinking range maybe. Yep. I will. I will. Those men deserve to be checked always. And you know what? It would be. It does go well with so many different foods because it's so medium. This definitely goes good with most meats, I would say. It would go great with turkey, chicken, beef, pork. For vegetarians, however, this is amazing with mushrooms. I know, right? I'm killing it right now because I don't eat meat. So I'm like, okay, great. You give me all these meat pairings. What the hell am I supposed to drink this with? And so I think about it and I'm like, because it has a little bit of that earthy quality, I think it goes really good with mushrooms. So there you go. If you want maybe, I don't know. I don't really think it's like an umami kind of flavor. That's a different flavor than mushroom. But yeah, I think it goes really well with mushrooms. So it'd be also a good Thanksgiving wine. It kind of just goes with everything. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, summer Chardonnay is definitely a different flavor profile. Neutral vessel is what they call like metal. It's like a neutral vessel. So it doesn't give you any of those like oak qualities to it. It's definitely going to be more, not acidic necessarily, but maybe crisp is a good word for it. But summer Chardonnay, if it's growing in a warmer climate, it's going to have different flavors. If you're growing it in a cool climate, you're going to get more citrus, green apple, lime, lemon, that kind of stuff, those flavors. If you're growing it in a warmer climate, like a summer Chardonnay, you're going to get much more tropical flavors. So like pineapple, banana, those kind of notes. So it's a different vibe. So it's a fun summer drink, definitely, because it's like a pina colada. I like a good mushroom too. You don't have to drink, but if you want to, these are just options. Oh. I like that, like, there's, like, fan fiction happening in these comments, and I'm here for it. True. True. But, mansplainers can suck it. So it's fun just to, be rude to them metaphorically in our comments. Let's see. What kind of wine will be having with your Thanksgiving meal? I don't know because I don't know what I'm making yet. Probably a red. Like, let's be real. I'm gonna want something warm and like fun. I guess. White wine, I feel like it's just not gonna go with the vibe. Although it's kind of weird because I make a lot of vegetables and red wine doesn't always go with vegetables, but it's gonna go with the main course. So maybe I'll drink multiple things. I'll have like 6 glasses and just have like a flight of different things. And just have a wonderful Thanksgiving all by myself. I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna be by myself. I have like my boyfriend, my mom will be there and stuff. So there'll be people I'm cooking for. But it's kind of hard to match one wine to all of the different dishes because they're all so different tasting. But I don't know. Maybe a Pinot. I got another Pinot around. Maybe I'll have that. Who knows? Let's see. Let's see. Manplaners can suck it. It should be a shirt. Let's see. You were close. It's a Veltliner. So Veltliner. Very close. Yeah, Viognier and Gruner Veltliner. They're kind of similar. I would say Viognier is very full-bodied and has a lot of like apricot flavors. Gruner Veltliner is it's kind of it's similar to Riesling, but it's definitely a bit drier. Has more like green apple flavors, that kind of stuff. So it has a little different flavor profile, but they're both really, really fun. Viognier is one of those wines that no one says correctly, so it's Viognier. If anyone wants to order it and you can feel fancy. Hello, Marina. Thank you for coming. Yeah, lots and lots of different stuff. So yeah, I've been talking about wine for quite a minute here. I also last minute decided what my book topic would be because honestly I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna say about books today. I was really like fretting about it, honestly. So I decided, hey, let's talk about movie adaptations. Right? This is gonna be fun. Mainly just because who else saw the trailer for The Hating Game? Like, was it just me or does it look super fun? Also, what is happening with my lighting? Why am I orange? Oh, there we go. All of a sudden I changed like a completely different color. But yes, The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. Yeah, I think it's the book. It's making me orange. It's a weird, the light, whatever. I'm just orange now. This is how my life is. But yes, the trailer finally came out for this, and I was like, oh, okay, let's talk about books as movies because there's like a whole thing. Like, is the book better than the movie? Is the movie better than the book, or what have you? So I picked like a whole bunch of adaptations and books I have read because I didn't want to just pick a book, and if I haven't seen the movie, or if I've only seen the movie and I read the book, this is a combo. I've done both. So, so anyway, let's talk about some movie adaptations. So far, the trailer for this, I feel like it'll be a fair adaptation, but like, I don't know. I felt like I had a different vibe between the main characters. Like, I wanted more hate. I wanted Josh Templeman, the main character in here, to be a bit more I don't know, gruff. I wanted him grumpier. This one, he kind of seems like a little bit of an a-hole and not a fun, grumpy way. So I don't know how I feel about it yet, but am I going to go see this? Yes, I am. I'm definitely going to watch this. I think it's going to be really, really fun. Let's see. Yep. Fair. So yeah, so do you guys want me to start with like books that I think have a good adaptation, or perhaps the adaptation is better than the book? Or do you want me to start with things that like, oh God, please don't watch the adaptation? Let me know in the comments. You know, sorry, Corbin again. This one is the cheap one at $100. There's more that usually they're like $150 to $250. This is like the base model, and then you can buy all the stuff separate. Like you can buy capsules and stuff. But yeah, if you go to Corbin directly and you put in your email address, you get such discounts. So I recommend just buying it from the manufacturer. Like don't bother getting it from someone else. All right, let's see. If no one else disagrees, I'm gonna go bad then good. Let's go for it. Let's see. So bad adaptation. Vampire Academy. I pulled it out. It's unfortunate because okay, here you go. This is like I unironically love this series. I've read it all. It's a 6-book series and it's a 6-book spin-off series, and I've read all of them. They're actually like right here. You can see some of them behind me, but like yeah, I've read them all. I love it. It's very fun. I feel like if you are like I don't want to compare them, but I feel like Rose Hathaway and Selena Sardathian might be a little similar. Maybe they're both kind of smart asses and you know fighters and stuff, but yeah, I love this series intensely. And then the movie was just like oh no. It was not good. But the thing is, do I still kind of like the movie? Like yeah. I'm not necessarily proud that I kind of campily enjoy the movie, but is it the book? No, it is not. You know, I think the series is actually very good and worth reading, but the series is fantastic. The book's not so much, and like as you could tell, like 6 books in the series, 6 books in the spinoff. There's a lot of books. There's a lot of world building here. And the movie was just like, nah, I'm not going to do none of that. One more. Let's do one more and before we talk about something else. So another adaptation that was really bad. The books are very good. However, it's so crappy that I campily enjoy it. It's I Am Number 4 by Pittacus Lore. I don't know if you guys have read this series, but the original series has like 7 books in it. And then there's a spin-off series with like 5 or 6 books in it. I forget how many. But yeah, I've read them. All of them. I was obsessed with this series. I still am. It's actually very good. There is some like crazy stuff that goes on in this. And it's so much better than the movie. Although I campily kind of enjoy the movie because it's terrible, but I'm like, I'm still kind of into it. But you know, those ones you're just like, I know this is terrible, but I like it anyway. It's one of those. But I do recommend the series. I think the series is actually really fun. I like the characters. There's so many more of these like numbered children that are way badass and interesting. And there's a lot going on here. And then there's a spin-off series. You're kind of still continuing that, but now they all have PTSD. So it's kind of fun. I do recommend the series. The book, campily enjoyable, but not the best. Not the best movie. Let's see what's going on in these comments. Okay, you picked your hill, die on it, I guess. I don't know. I haven't read it or seen it. I know. What is wrong with me as a human? I haven't read the book and I haven't seen the series, but I appreciate your standing before your convictions. Worst adaptations, yeah. Let's see. Sometimes the movies are fun, you know what I mean? Like, you know it's a bad movie, but you're just like, I like it anyway. I don't care. Yeah, maybe. I actually have a couple. Like I've mentioned before, like Fight Club by Chuck Palahniuk. Like the movie is leaps and bounds better than the book. And even the author himself has said, like, wow, the movie's really good. So that one I didn't even put on this list. I'm just gonna mention it briefly. That like, yeah, the movie's just better. The book is just weird and hard to read. And then they put the movie out, and you're like, "Oh, that's the story." And even Chuck Palahniuk's like, "Yeah, that was better than what I wrote." So it's just better. So another one that is an unfortunate movie that I also campily enjoy, Warm Bodies by Isaac Marion. I do not know a lot of people who've actually read this book, and it has 2 sequels. Well, one's a prequel and one's a sequel. And I think there is another sequel, so it's a trilogy, but the third book got like, I don't know, there's like a publication drama around it, but this book, so good. It is so good. And then the movie is just, they made it into a rom-com, which I'm okay with. I enjoy the movie for what it is. I enjoy zombie rom-coms. However, this is actually like really dark and serious and like creepy and like also kind of funny in how weird it is. So if you haven't read the actual source material, it's actually really good. And the movie, you know, it is what it is. It's funny and it's silly and I can't fully enjoy it. But like, is it the book? No, it is not the book. So I don't know. I don't really know any. Have you? Okay, comments. Have you read Warm Bodies? I really like it. I think the next book of this series is The Burning World, which is like, oh my gosh, like that it gets dark at times. So it is like a crazy series and it's really, really good. Let's see. There you go. It did come out several years ago, so you might not remember everything about it. I remember loving it, and I've continued on. Like I found other books and continued. So I really, really, really like it. The original cover, dope. Love the cover. It's a fun book. Movie, campily delightful, but not the book. Let's see. If you guys have any adaptations that you think are particularly poor, put them in the comments. We're all hanging out talking about books. So this might be a controversial choice. I read this book many years ago. Many years ago. I think this is like the original press, isn't it? Is this the first edition? Let me double check this. I got this like right after it came out, I believe. Okay, so it's not the first edition, it's the second edition, but still 2015. So I was reading this a while ago. And the book, so fun, so campy. And then the movie, I feel like they're just like, okay, how do we make it shiny and funny and like too much effects? I think they just tried so much razzle dazzle that it took away from the story. But I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of Ready Player One, the movie. I'm just not. And then they put out a sequel, Ready Player Two, which I was like, it's not that great. I'm like, did you need a sequel? Probably not. But I really enjoyed the book. I do remember reading this back in 2015, a long time ago. Loved it when I read it. I heard the movie's coming out. Steven Spielberg's directing it. I was like, oh shit, it's gonna be great. And it was just like, it was so much that I felt like it was too much. It lost a lot of like the emotional heart, I guess, of the book. So anyway, I think the book is better. There you go. Let's see. I don't know which one you're talking about. Was that Warm Bodies or was it Ready Player One? Either way, they both have sequels. Let's see. Yeah, I love the book too. The just wasn't as fun. Yeah, I don't know anyone who liked Ready Player Two as well. Just not as fun. It does. Okay, so Warm Bodies. Yeah, it does. It has a prequel and then 2 sequels. So it's like 4 books in that world. Let me see. Inkheart. Okay. You know what? But Brendan Fraser, I fully agree with you on that. I grew up with 1999 Mummy, and that was like my teenage sexual awakening. So yeah, I fully agree with that factor of it. But I haven't actually read the book. But I remember not liking the movie, so it made me not want to read the book. I don't know. Let's see. It's silly. You know what I mean? It is. Is it a similar ending in the book? Yeah, they keep the ending, but it's a much darker. They played it up for laughs in the movie. It is much darker in the book. Yeah, even Alan Moore hates any adaptation of his work. Hates it with a passion. He's a crazy person who lives in a shack in the woods. Like I think that's true, honestly. I think he lives like off the radar and off the grid. He is a crazy guy in the woods, hates everything. But that's kind of what Alan Moore does. That's why his books are fun. Although I did think Watchmen was a really good adaptation. I think the ending of Watchmen the movie is better than Watchmen the book. I said what I said. I liked the nuclear warfare kind of ending of the movie rather than like Lovecraftian monster alien thing that lands. Like everyone's like, what the fuck is that? So yeah. I like the movie monster better than the book monster. There you go. So I have like about half this bottle left after Coravitting it. So I feel like I'm just gonna pop this bottle, keep drinking it, because I'll finish this off within a couple days. So I've went over wine keys before, but some people don't know how to use them. You got a screw, you put it in slightly off center because the screw is not center. And you give it a good twisty twist. Let's see. Okay. Too far. Okay. First lip. Second lip. Cork is out. Let's see. Comments. You know, I'm just going to say this right now, and everyone's going to be shocked. I haven't seen any adaptations of Pride and Prejudice. I know. Everyone's gasping right now, and I'm fully there with you. I think it's also weird. But I did really, really like the book. It was one of my first like drunk classics I read, and I was astounded by how much I liked it. I thought I wasn't going to like it, and then I really ended up enjoying it. All right. Keeping going with this Pinot Noir journey I'm on. Yep. These were the reactions I was expecting. How dare you? There you go. I'm not the only one. Okay. And then, you know, like, okay, I might certify you as a heathen too. I've seen all of Star Wars at least. And by at least, I mean, I love it. And I'm a big nerd. And like me and my boyfriend, when we met, this is like we have a very strange early dating story. Like we met and we ended up quoting the conversation between Han and Leia when they first kissed, when we first met. So like we were kind of on the same wavelength. And then shortly afterward, I got super sick and like a sinus infection. Like I was really sick. And so we were like having like a Skype thing. We were hanging out on Skype. And I was like, I just want to use my neti pot. And if you don't know what a neti pot is, basically you pour water in one side of your nose and then it comes out the other side. And it's great. It sounds disgusting, but it's great. It'll clear out your sinuses. And he's just like, okay. And I was like, okay. And then like I used my neti pot on Skype. And here we are 10 years later. Like if I knew blasting my boogers on the internet would get me men, I would have been doing it. That being said, I'm pretty sure it just got me this one guy. But yeah, we were kind of just equally as weird as the other. So that's our love story. Let's see. Okay, I got another one. This is another awful adaptation to the point where it like makes me viscerally angry. And that is The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. I love this series. It's so dark and twisted and like really like emotionally like exhausting. It's a lot. It's a lot going on here and I loved it so much. And then they got the movie and it took out all of the good stuff from the book. And I was like, why? Why would you do such a thing? All of like the tension and the drama and all of like the humor that is in the book, they just like erased from the movie. And I'm like, did you read the same book as I did? Because I don't know if you did. You gave me Cliff Notes versions and you took out all of the heart because this book has a big heart. And it's also a chonker. How thick was this? I don't know how thick this was. Hold on. I'm going to figure this out. Okay, so this has a bit of the next book in it, so that's why it's so thick. But still, it is still 457 pages, so it's a bit of a chonker. But I really, really love this series, and I was so disappointed. So disappointed by that movie. It makes me angry to this day. Remember being in the movie theaters going, just stewing in anger and eating popcorn. I was just not happy. Speaking of bad adaptations, Yeah, I really, really enjoyed the Miss Peregrine series. I read the whole thing, even the spin-offs, and the spin-offs, they're not that good. But the original trilogy, fantastic. I loved it. And I was a big fan of Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. And then I was like, oh, Tim Burton's putting it out. Like, this could be cool. And then I'm like, oh no, Tim Burton just did what Tim Burton wanted to do and didn't care about the source material that much. Like, a lot of the characters have completely different abilities, like the main character Emma, like Emma and shit, what's this guy's name? What's the Jacob. There you go. Jacob and Emma. Emma's like main ability was fire. Like she could create fire, and in the movie they made it wind, which is like the opposite of fire. So I don't I don't know how that like computed that they just changed people's abilities. They omitted characters. They just it was a bad adaptation. I don't think anyone liked it either. It was just not fun. But loved the series. It's great. They have all these weird creepy photos in here, like old weird photography and stuff. That one's particularly creepy, but it's not like a person dead, she's just riding on a twig. That sounds weird too, but just go with it. So they're weird books in a good way. And then like it's just not a fun adaptation. I did not enjoy. 0%. Let's see. Yeah, I agree. I was really excited about, oh, Tim Burton, he's gonna like got this up, but I'm way into it. Let's see. Yeah, I was worried. I was worried by the trailer as well, but I was like, I'll give it a shot because I feel like Tim Burton can handle it. And I'm like, no, couldn't handle it. Okay. Good luck, Beth. I hope you do great on your job interview. Go for it. Come back later if you wish, but like I wish you luck. Good luck. Everyone wish Beth luck. Okay. Nice. That's good. That's like okay, happy ending. Rainbow. Rainbow at the edge of the storm. I made you read the book. Let's see. Okay, this one I feel like everybody's going to be on the same page as me. Do we need to even talk about this one and how bad the movie adaptation was? It's like laughably bad adaptation. Just just the worst. The whole point of the book is that he's like a kid and he's overcoming things and he's like 11 or 12 years old. In the movie they're like, nah, let's make him 17 so there's sexual tension, and I'm like, no, no. It's just no one likes this adaptation. The movie is kind of campily fun, but like, is it Percy Jackson? No. Like, I have to separate the two in my brain because it's like if I'm expecting Percy Jackson, I'm not going to get it. But the movie is campily fun, but it's its own thing. It's not Percy Jackson. I said what I said. No one likes that adaptation. It deserves better. There you go. Oh, thank you guys. You guys all wish so much luck. That's so sweet. Yay. We are, you know what? We were here for each other so much. I don't know if I read that one. I don't think I have. I'll have to look that one up. So much, so much good luck. Nice, nice, nice. The musical? Which musical? Oh, Percy Jackson is a musical. I forgot about that. You know what? I feel like Disney Plus is going to do okay because I feel like if it's a series, they'll be okay with younger actors. I think the movie was trying to appeal to the audience that it doesn't need to appeal to. Oh. 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 You agree, but that was like, you know what? You should have been a sci-fi movie. That felt like fighting words, and I appreciate it. Let's see. Let's all talk about this for a minute here. So City of Bones. Is this my favorite Cassandra Clare series? 0%. It's actually my least favorite of all the Shadowhunter series. It's weird, and I get mad, like viscerally angry. Like my poor blood pressure is through the roof because I hate Clary. She is so dumb. How has she not been murdered a million times? I don't know. It defies all logic. So it's not my fave series, but like the movie, is it kind of campily delightful? Yeah, like I can get into it, but is it the book? No, it's not. Did it improve upon the book? No, it did not. So it's like it's not. It made something like an adaptation of the book where you could have improved things, and they're like, nah, we're keeping all the shitty parts of the book and then putting other shitty stuff in. Win. And I'm like, no, no, no. You had so many opportunities. And you decided, no, I'm not taking any of your opportunities. So thoughts. This one is not my fave series or fave movie. However, the movie is kind of campily fun. But, you know, it is also about like a brother and sister trying to have sex with each other. They're not really brother and sister, but like they spend a lot of time thinking they're brother and sister and still wanting to do it. So just because it's technically not incest doesn't make it okay. So there you go. I've said my things I needed to say about that. I agree. They were trying to appeal to a teenage audience when it's a middle grade book. Like you know, I don't promote Harry Potter on this channel because we all know the issues with J.K. Rowling. But the movies, they started off with kids because the books were kids. And you know what? Everyone liked it just fine. Teenagers still went to go see it. It was fine. I think they just like assumed no one would want to see it, but I'm like, no, it works. Obviously, you had like this blueprint, and they just decided I'm not doing that. So there you go. Let's see. Let's see. Yep. When you're just dumb for the sake of being dumb, it tries my patience. Pretend incest is still incest. Yes, right? If you fully believe this is your brother and you still want to have sex with them, it's not okay. You got lucky he wasn't your brother, frankly. And they did that for $6. Girl, like I can't. Ooh. Anyway, let's move on. Okay. So let's go on to books where I feel like the adaptation was pretty good or perhaps better. Let's see. Where should I start? Where should I start? Okay. I'm gonna start with this one. Why not? Who else is a Bridgerton fan? Like, I reluctantly kind of watched the series, and then I was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. I love it. Because I wasn't super into Julia Quinn books. And then I was like, okay, I am obsessed with Bridgerton. I need to go read these books. Let's see what it's like. And then I'm like, you know what? I kind of like the books. So that series made me rethink an author that I was like already had written off. So, hey, look at that. I think the adaptation is actually maybe better than the book. I'm going to say it because the book has some content in it that is, woo boy, problematic. Whoa, problematic. Oh my gosh, how did you write this and get away with it? Problematic. And the movie, well, the series kind of eliminated that. Like it still happens in the series, but it's under different pretexts. You know what? This is a high alcohol wine, guys. I'm trying my best with pronunciation of words. It tried its best, but there's some stuff in here that's just not okay. But anyway, the series, is it fun? Yeah. Did I like the Bridgerton series? Yeah, I actually think it's kind of better than the book. So there you go. It's at least a fair adaptation, if not better. So there you go. And it also made me read the series. So I think it was doing double time winning. Let's see what's going on in these comments. There's been so many comments happening. Let's see. Okay. You know, everyone told me to read not read that, to watch that as well, and I haven't yet. Like, Sense and Sensibility took me a while to get into, but then as soon as I got into it, I was like into it. It's more about like fuck boys. That whole book is about fuck boys. That's exactly the problematic content. The series, like, it's still problematic, but less so. essentially she wants to get pregnant and kind of tricks him into finishing inside of her. And against his will. In the book, it's very, oh boy, that is very rapey in the book. It's not okay in the series. They have the moment, but he never says no. He's actually kind of like really into it, and then he's like, "Oh no!" Like after it happens. So they kind of retcon it and make it into more of a mistake kind of thing rather than like this is obviously rapey. So you know, there you go. We talked about the problematic content because oh boy, is that problematic in the book. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, there's so many books, so many movies. Just like if you just sat down and said some shit, like we would not have a movie. The movie would be over in 25 minutes. Mhm. Yeah. I hate it when people like know answers and refuse to tell them. Like I don't need your cryptic mystic bullshit. Like if you know there's a monster behind this door that will eat me if I open the door, don't give me some fucking riddle. Like just say like, "Hey, don't open the door. A monster will eat you." Like just if you know some shit, say some shit. Like who's with me? There's no point being like cryptic about it. Just say what you mean for Pete's sake. So what percentage is this wine? 13.9. So let's give it a good 14. I don't know exactly the law for American wine, but I know European wine, they actually have a fair amount of leeway on their alcohol by volume rating. They can be up to 1 to 2% off legally. So if you drink a bottle and you're like, well, I am drunky pants, but this says it's only 12.5%. I'm like, they are lying to you. Like last night, I was hanging out with one of my friends and we opened a bottle of Suave, which is usually not that super boozy, but and the bottle said 12.5%. And we both had one glass and we're both like, we're a little loosey goosey and we've had one glass. So I'm like, I believe that 12.5 is a bold faced lie. So you kind of take with a grain of salt. It's just a matter of how much you drink and etc. Nice. I mean, Emma Thompson kind of always kills it. Let's see. Yeah, like I don't know how many relationships have a breakup in the beginning of the relationship and then you get back together. Like I don't know. Mind you, me and my boyfriend is a unique case. I literally blew my nose in front of him with like water. So we might not be the exact dynamic of all relationships, but I don't feel like a lot of relationships have that much drama and you break up and then you need to get back together. Right? You're like you just either get together and then you fight maybe, but you're still together, or you just break up. Like I don't see all these breakups and getting back together things. Like I don't see that happen a lot in real life, but it happens in rom-coms. This is like a thing, you know? Hmm. Yep. Exactly. Stop being cryptic. Just tell me what I need to do. Like, are you helping anybody with your cryptic bullshit? The answer is 0%. No, you're not helping anybody. Okay, good adaptations. Let's go. Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. Ugh. Okay, so this is Amanda as a teenager, and my original copy got lost, and I'm so bummed. I got this one that has a stupid little sticker on it that says "in theaters." It makes me so angry. But anyway, my original copy from when I was a teenager is lost, so I had to rebuy it. But like, this was like my teen years. All of my angst is in this book. So it was like a book that was such a big part of my like upbringing and my like childhood that I loved the movie. Like I felt like it was such a fair adaptation. Logan Lerson, I don't know, the guy who played Percy Jackson played Charlie in this, and and great casting. I think all of the casting in here was really good. I feel like it moved the story faster than the book does. So like I feel like the adaptation was very good. It has like slight changes, but overall pretty accurate. So I'm like, that's a great adaptation and a good book. All of my teenage angst, all in it, all in that one book. Okay. You know what? I want to see Howl's Moving Castle. I haven't seen it, and I'm very upset with myself that I haven't. I need to see that. I have the book. I have access to the I have Disney Plus, so I have the movie. I can stream it anytime I want. I don't know why I haven't done it. Yeah, exactly. I am definitely in love with you, but you don't like my mother. Slam the door in your face. It's like, what? And then eventually he's like, no, I like her. And you're like, okay, we're friends again. It's just stupid. The reader rage. It's not even a sticker, it's literally printed. They printed it on the book. You can't even try to peel it. Those bastards. Another fantastic adaptation, The Martian by Andy Weir. Oh my goodness. Honestly, I just think about the movie and like I'll start crying. Like like when they finds out like, oh my gosh, everyone's rooting for me. They knew I was here. I'm not alone. And then they finally get him at the end. I'm doing so many spoilers. Whatever. It's been out for a while. So, oh my gosh, like the movie, it hits my heartstrings so hard. The book is arguably more sarcastic. It's a bit funnier. Mars tries to kill him way more times than it does in the movie. So this one is just like a lot more peril. But as far as adaptation go, it's a great adaptation. They cut out some stuff you don't really need to be in there. Mars is trying to kill him enough. You don't need all of the instances of it. But yeah, that is just it hits me in all of my feels. It's such a good adaptation. Also, the book, fantastic if you haven't read it. It's really fun. Good adaptations. This one is like questionable, and I'll explain. Like, I love Lee Bardugo, and I love Six of Crows. I'm more of a duology than a trilogy kind of person. I love Six of Crows. I love that book. Kaz Brekker, wonderful character. Love him. So, like, okay, here's the deal. The show, I think, is very good. Is it the same as the books? No. They really changed so much. But is it a fun adaptation? Yeah, but is it the book? No. Like they changed so much. Like they put in the characters from Six of Crows into the Grishaverse trilogy when they weren't there. They were on a whole other continent. They were on a whole there's an ocean between these two places. Ravka and Ketterdam, there's a whole ocean. They don't touch. They don't touch. There's a map. I'll show you. I'm getting very heated about it. Oh, it doesn't even show in here. But anyway, so Ravka in this area, the True Sea. Like if you go going this way, like over here, this is Ketterdam. There's an ocean. There's an ocean between them. They don't touch. The characters would not just like hang out. I put it out there, okay? Like parts of it, like I love, but also parts of it are just like so different that I'm just like, it has to be its own thing. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily the book, but do I enjoy it? Yes, I think it's very good. So it's one of those ones where I'm like, it's not like the best adaptation, but it's a fun adaptation. So, you know, what am I gonna do? Let's see. They could have, but like part of me also is happy I didn't have to wait for the crows. I want the crows all the time. If I can have more Kaz Brekker, great. But also, you know, I don't really know if I like how they incorporated them in. I'm like, did they need to be part of Valina's story? They could have just had two concurrent things happening. They don't need to be part of the same story. But I don't know. I'm not writing the show. It's how they wanted to do it. There you go. There might be a parody. I have not researched that at all. Okay. It's very different. So yeah, if you're expecting like basically none of the crows, Kaz Brekker is not in the series at all until he has his own duology later on. However, I think the next season they are going to bring in Nikolai, who is my sweet baby, and I love him intensely. I freaking love Nikolai. So I'm very excited for that to happen, but we'll see how that goes. Fair adaptations. Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda. I feel like the adaptation, while it's not exactly the same as the book, it fully understood the assignment. Like it's like the spirit of this fully matches like the source material. It's really fun. It's got like heart, and you really root for these characters, is just what I wanted to do. So I think the book is really fun. I think the movie's really fun. They both have like the right element of like funny and heartfelt and like characters you want to root for. So as far as adaptations go, I think it's a pretty good one. Very fun. Let's see. Oh, I hit my own camera. Sorry about that. Maybe. Sometimes they are hedging their bets because you don't know if you're going to get a second season. So perhaps, or they have like a different agenda. I don't really know. Let's see here. Let's talk about Twilight for a second, everybody. So, Twilight. I was, I was a later teen when I started reading these. So, I wasn't a child, but I was the target audience for it. And what I said. I like Twilight. Okay, I liked it. It's fun to hate on it. Does it have its problems? Yes. Like it is like a romance about a stalker and 100-year-old vampire with a teenage girl, and they're in love. And it's just like, what do you have in common with this lady? You are 100 years old. Go like hunt the retirement community. You're gonna have way more to talk about with them. But anyway, Twilight. We're not here to talk about the problems. We're here to talk about the adaptation. And while the adaptation is not quite different, but there's a lot of differences between them, I feel like it understood the assignment too. Like it kind of gets the spirit of the books and had fun with it, but you have to adapt this to a different medium. Some things are going to get changed. Some things are going to be, I don't know, just not as good as the books. Maybe some things are better than the book. I don't know. I just feel like it's a fair adaptation. They're fun, but they are what they are. And you know what? It's fun. Okay, hold on. The phone started ringing. Yeah, I'm sorry. I got totally sidetracked by that. But yes, Twilight. I like it. It's fun to hate on it. And does it have problems? Yes. But you know what? I like Twilight. Screw it. I like what I like. Okay. So before we move on, let's get all these Twilight comments. Yeah, I don't care it has problems. I still had so much fun reading it. I think Stephanie Meyer's writing is just intensely readable. So there you go. I liked it. Okay. There you go. I mean, they're kind of their own thing, but I feel like they understood the source material. So when they changed things, I feel like it still went with what the book was about. So they understood the assignment. I like them. Okay. There you go. Someone that hasn't read the book. So, but you like the movies. So I feel like you might like the books. The books might be a little slower, honestly. I don't know if you like them. They're a bit more slow paced and indecisive. The movies are much more like, let's push the story forward. So who knows? It's one of those movies that it's campily delightful. Like I was mentioning earlier, like, is it a good movie? Probably not. But do I enjoy it? Yes. I don't care. I'm a grown-ass adult. I still want to see it. They could have been way cooler. I agree. They could have been incorporated into the story much more, because they had so many other villains going on that like they could have been like a Thanos type of thing, where like they're the overlying big bad and there's all these small bads in between. So it could have been like a Thanos thing, and that would have been cool. True. Although, okay. Funny story about that. I was a nanny when the last movie came out. Nanny for like a little kid, like 6 or 7. And their parents were like, take her to the movies. Go see Twilight. And I was like, you want me to bring this kid to Twilight? She's 7. But I was like, whatever, you're paying me to do this. So I went, and it was the last Twilight movie. And I'm like, oh gosh, there's decapitations. And I brought a 7-year-old. Oh no. So I have like this very visceral like feeling of like, oh no. Just like covering this kid's eyes, like, oh no, oh no. So, but yeah, the dream sequence, I was like, wow, wow, they really changed the book a lot. And then I was like, oh, fuck you, dream sequence. So, yeah, that I have a lot of feelings about that. Agreed. It's a silly love triangle. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, stylistically, Baz Luhrmann is a genius, and I think the style of the film is great. Ah, man, everyone like I have gotten a lot of requests to do Great Gatsby for Drunk Classics, and like I hate The Great Gatsby. So I get why it'd be a fun Drunk Classics episode, but like, do I want to rage read a book? I don't know. I'm working my way up to it. If you're not into it, you don't have to be into it. I read it at the time of my life where it made sense for me. GG. Oh, Great Gatsby. There you go. Yeah, like I can't stand it. Oh my gosh, the Uncanny Valley babyface. I feel like they underpaid the visual effects department, and they're like, "Oh yeah, well if you're not gonna pay me, you're getting shitty baby face." And I felt like that was like a rage baby. Like someone was trying to make a point, right? Like someone's just like, "Okay, here's your baby." I feel like someone was like upset. It was a spite baby face. Adaptations. I got two more. Got two more to go through. You by Carolyn Kepnes. So I love this book. It is basically like if a rom-com was a horror movie, which is the best way to describe this. It's so creepy and like oddly romantic, even though you're like, oh my gosh, this is horrific and terrifying and I hate it, but like also like I kind of get where he's coming from. And then you feel bad about yourself that you understand where he's coming from. But like the series adaptation, it's much different from the book because they have to like extend this into several episodes rather than just a movie. So a lot more is going on, but I feel like they just picked great characters, great writers. It understood the assignment. It's definitely stretching stuff out, so it's a little different, but it's a really fun book. It's creepy as shit, and it's written in the second person, so it's like even creepier because you're being talked to as if you are the person he's stalking. Because he says, "Oh, you want to be watched, don't you?" So he's talking to you, but you're like, no, no, don't stalk me. So it definitely sucks you into it. It's really fun. I love that. Let's see. It is. It's really fun. I'm not caught up on it though. I know. I'm terrible at watching things. Okay. I mean, you don't have to read the book. I think the book is fun. It's definitely creepy because it makes you a character in it because it's second person. So you're just like, oh no. You get very invested in the story. Okay. Yeah, it definitely if you're on the A spectrum, I could understand that. Um, Especially for you because he's so obsessive, but I feel like it's more of like an obsession rather than romance because like what he's doing is not a healthy relationship. I think it's more narcissistic and perhaps stalkery and just wanting to own another person, that kind of thing. It's definitely not romantic, but like I understand where you're coming from on that. It definitely does. You're like, oh wait, this could be romantic sometimes, but not when you do it that way. Oh no. And then you question your own beliefs. Okay. I haven't read that one yet. I want to though. I haven't read it yet. I need to keep reading the series. I loved you and I just haven't gone on for it. I mean, yeah, I recommend finishing it. I think it's a fun book. Okay. I have one more adaptation I had to bring up because there's multiple adaptations of this. And while I'm talking about this adaptation, please comment about the adaptation. But also, I want you guys to pick what we're drinking next time. So if you want to do a red, a white, or a rosé, leave it in the chats. We will talk about it. Or yeah, the chat. There you go. I have to realize everything's opposite for me. So leave it in the chats, and we will see what you want to do, red, white, or rosé. But my last adaptation that sometimes is bad and sometimes is good, depending. Dune, right? You guys knew what I was bringing up. It had to be Dune. By the way, this cover, the special edition, ugh, it's so pretty. And I have read Dune. I read this whole chunker, read the whole thing, and like I get it. I get why it's a classic. I get why people like it. But like, oh boy, is it just, did I enjoy it? Arguably no. Okay, here's the deal. The 80s adaptation is just a cocaine fever dream of a film. It is bananas crazy. What is happening? I believe it's on HBO Max right now. So if you have access to it, I believe it is streaming there. But oh boy, it is a mess and bizarre and just so strange. Like everything about the movie is just so strange. They even have Sting in a space thong, and you're just like, at this point, that's the least weird thing on camera. So many weird things are happening. It's just a bizarre movie. And, you know, in the book, Paul Atreides, he is 15 years old when the book starts. And then you have Kyle MacLachlan in the 80s version, who is a full adult man. Like, ain't no way he's passing for 15. Ain't no way. He is a 30-year-old, 15-year-old, and it bothers me deeply. However, Denis Villeneuve, his new one, which is like approximately the first half of this book. Okay, I have some thoughts. I think visually it is gorgeous, and I feel like it understands the assignment, it's doing a really good job. However, you know, I'm going to say what I'm going to say. Timothée Chalamet, physically, he's Paul Atreides. Like he looks the part. However, he is not the best. I just feel like his part has nowhere to go. And I mean, Paul Atreides, he's also kind of like, he's not the most emotive person. And I feel like from watching it, like Chalamet wanted to emote a lot of stuff, but he doesn't have the material in the script. So it's joyless, I feel. Like I wanted him to be 15 at parts of it, and he just was never like a 15-year-old. So I have some issues with like perhaps, I don't know. I think it may come down to a direction thing, because I feel like there was a lot of stuff they were kind of leaving out that could have really gave the movie a bit more heart than they did. But like visually, it's stunning. I think it's like really well done. These are just personal little grievances of mine. But yeah, bad adaptations have happened. And the new one coming out, I think is actually a pretty good adaptation. So it's kind of up for debate. Let's see. Yeah, it is a chonker. Some people are agreeing. Chonker. And a lot of rosés. A lot of people want a rosé. Okay. Okay. Let's see. When he had a mullet but bald on top. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me explain that one. In the 80s movie, Patrick Stewart played Gurney, who is Josh Brolin in the new movie. And while I think Patrick Stewart looks more like how I envisioned Gurney in the books, when he comes back later and he has a space mullet, because, you know, he's bald on top, but the sides of his hair, he just grew long. So he has like, it's just a side mullet. And I'm like, I just couldn't with his hair. And it was so distracting. Is it just me? Oh my gosh. Okay. It's a lot of book, you know, and like honestly, they try to dig a backpack out of the sand for like 25 pages in it. It's a chonker book. It's got a lot of stuff happening. So I believe Rosé was the overwhelming pick for next time. And I'm realizing now I did not pull out my rosé bottle. Give me a hot second. You guys can enjoy my background while I grab the rosé. One day we'll be prepared for life. Okay, hold on. Okay. Okay. I am back. Here is the rosé for next time. This is Chateau Gigery, and it's a Côte de Provence. A lot of really good rosés come from Provence in France. This one is a bit of a young one. It's a 2020. I would have preferred this to be like maybe a 2018 model, but it is what it is. So this is what we're going to be drinking next time. I don't remember the price of this. It's probably in the $20 range. Those are the wines I'm picking. I don't want anyone to have to like invest a shit ton of money in this. But yeah, so this will be our rosé for next wine chat. It's going to be really fun. Let's see. So many comments. Oh my. Okay. I haven't read the Jurassic Park books, but like Jurassic Park is my childhood. Loved it. It is really pretty. It actually, on top here, it has a glass stopper built in. So that's kind of fun. It comes with its own stopper. It's also a little tall, so you might need to lay it down in your fridge. But it is fun. I do recommend chilling this, like I do for anything, like even my red wine. I probably should have mentioned that. Red wine, white wine, every wine should be served chilled. You don't want to drink red wine warm. Like people's like, oh, it's red wine. It could be warm. No, it cannot. It'll be bad. Pop it in the fridge for at least 30 minutes before you drink it. Frankly, it's going to change your life. Because there is a thing like red wine should be served room temperature. But the thing is, people don't realize room temperature is about 60 to 65 degrees. Room temperature is chilled. Pop it in the fridge for like 30 minutes. Get it nice and chilled and then drink it. It's going to be a completely different experience for you. And also this one, a rosé, you could have it fairly chilled. I would say this is good for maybe like 50 degrees. You want it a little colder. So yeah, it's going to be fun. Côte de Provence. So if you can't find this exact bottle, I think just get any rosé that's from Provence in France and you'll be good to go. Yeah, it's a little fun glass bottle top here. See. You know what? The only ones I've ever seen are rosés. There's a few that come with their own little glass stopper. And they're always rosés. Maybe it's like a thing. I'm not sure. This of the series. Maybe I could. I'll have to figure that one out. Definitely. I am going to put a link in the description of this. As soon as the live show ends, I'm going to put his link in so you guys can try to get it. I've just picked Total Wine because I feel like they have the most locations around. So hopefully you can get this exact one. If not, just get a rosé from Provence and it should be fine. They're all kind of the same. Well, take that with a grain of salt. They're not all the same. But yeah, it should be fun. Let's see. In the heart of Provence at only 1 hour. Oh, the writing is blurred. Hold on. I'm trying my best. In the heart of Provence, at only 1 hour of Saint-Tropez, is situated Chateau Gigery. With a pale and brilliant color, this greedy wine is fresh with aromas of grapefruit and lime, best enjoyed as an aperitif with antipasti or with summer salads. Greedy. It's a greedy wine. Like the worst thing used to describe wine are sometimes just bananas. They're just bizarre. My one weird thing I use to describe wine, I'll say something's racy. This isn't racy. This is very mild, but there's some reds you drink it and you're just like, oh, it's racy. It's the best way to describe it, I think. So since I had the red and the white ready to go, this is what I was gonna pick if you guys picked it. Again, I was bringing out this Trimbach Riesling. You guys, it's so good. You're going to pick it one day and you're going to be so happy. Trimbach is a fantastic, it's from Alsace in France, and they make Rieslings, they make Gewürztraminers, they make Pinot Gris, all kinds of stuff. They're fantastic. I really appreciate them. And then for red, I had this Australian Shiraz by Penfolds. This is a racy one. This is one I would drink and be like, oh, that's racy. So those were the options for next week. And we're not next week, 2 weeks from now, whenever that date is. Let me see. I'm getting my calendar. Hold on. The 21st. So the 21st is going to be the next wine chat. It's going to be a good time. We're going to be drinking rosé. I'm feeling happy about it. I'll have to pick a fun topic, because sometimes I'm like, I have a hard time picking topics, and then it's like 10 minutes before the show, I'm like, oh, I'm going to do that. So if you guys have any topics you really want to see me cover, please leave them in the comments so I can get to them. But yeah, so thank you guys for coming, drinking some Pinot Noir, having a good time, coming for wine, staying for the vibes. I'll see you guys again on Sunday the 21st, 12 p.m. Pacific time. We're going to drink some rosé, get into it. It's going to be a good time. So, oh, 1 second. The white wine. This is a Trimbach. Hold on there. There you go. Okay. I can handle this. Trimbach Riesling. Yes. A lot of people love German Rieslings, and I like them as well, but controversial opinion, I like French Rieslings. I like them from Alsace, which is like right by Germany anyway. It's like not far away. It's in the same area, but I like them from Alsace. It's a different vibe. We'll get into that eventually if anyone ever picks the Riesling. I will describe the differences. But thank you guys all for coming. This was super fun. I had a really great time chatting with everyone, and yeah. Thank you guys for coming. I'll see you again on the 21st. It's going to be a fun time. All right, everybody.